eyes were narrow and seething, full of fury and rage that listener never thought she'd witnessed, and they were looking straight at her. But it didn't faze her because she was glaring at him with the same expression twisted on her own features. "You never talk to me anymore, Aizawa." She was lonely and so sick of the silence that overcame the two of them whenever she happened to be lucky enough to be in the same room as he is for more than a minute. He was always coming and going like the wind, never staying long enough for her to say anything more than a hello before he disappeared again, taking her words and her heart with him. "I'm tired, leave me alone." What a fucking coincidence! I'm tired too! You've left me alone for so long. I mean, can't you see all these spaces between us? I only see another nagging, demanding person who wants something from me. Well, I'm so tired of it. I'm tired of it all, listener. He didn't have to say it, but they both knew what he meant to include. At this point, she was tired too. Tired of working hard in this one-sided relationship. Tired of checking on him only to get half a mumbled reply. Tired of having to juggle her own personal problem without him to tell her everything would be okay. Tired of having to add him to her list of everything that was going wrong in her life. Tired of trying too hard and giving him a smile that sucked out everything she had left in her hollow body of hers to him only to have it all go unnoticed. Aizawa's lips curled into a sneer. "I'm tired of you." That previously unspoken sentence, now spoken out loud and clear, clicked something inside listeners. A switch that she had been holding down for so long, ever since Aizawa had stopped trying in their so-called relationship. It was silly and childish, and he knew he should have worded better or never said it at all. But the cage that he had built for his turbulent emotion was gone, and he was feeling every punch of agitation, every kick of anger and rage bubbling inside of him, ready to explode. "You're tired of me? Well, then I'm fucking exhausted with you, you get that?" Listener's previous tiredness in her eyes faded as anger started to take over. "Is that all you ever wanted from me? Some attention? Well, I'm afraid you can't get everything you want in life, your majesty. Not all of us have the time to bow down to your glory, sorry." He had a little fuse with that, a ticking bomb inside her that she didn't know existed. "You must have a screw loose. All I'm saying is that I'm sick of putting my everything into this relationship when you clearly don't give a shit. And I'm so sick of you jumping on my back every 5 seconds and I'm not looking at you." Listener was so furious at him. She put so much effort into their relationship, in making sure he was happy, cared for, supported, in making sure he was loved. She stood back when he needed her to and stayed loyal to him through it all. She hindered his work schedule by dealing with all the tight excuses and lack of dates and separation and distance bit here he was, claiming she was smothering him, that she was too much. That jerk. If there's something she's certain of right now, it's that their relationship are easier to destroy than to rebuild. You know what? I'm done with this. All of this. I'm done with you, Aizawa. Listener finally started to feel the tears stream down her face as soon as her eyes left Aizawa's stormy one, but she didn't make a move to brush them away until she was sure she was far away from that asshole. Listener finally saw him, nearly a year after they broke off. She's bustling into the nearest cafe for a daily dose of caffeine and muffins, trying to escape the oath and chill that followed behind her when she opened the door. She nearly ran into a figure with her hurry, accidentally stepping on the heel of their shoes. Oops, I'm sorry, my bad. She took a step back and she expected some sort of acceptance from the man like she always got when she'd rush into others. But the stranger turned around suddenly, and before she knew it, she was staring into the same piercing sleep-deranged eyes that she thought she'd have to see again. His eyes were wide when they stared back at her, lip midly parted into an expression of shock. "Oh, hey." She's the first to speak, and the word barely left her mouth, a whisper she didn't think he heard over the soft chatter of the store. Hi." He was still staring at her as if he was trying to decipher whether or not she's a dream or a figment of his imagination. Eventually, the sharp sound of the barista snapped the both of them out of the staring contest, things going on. Ma'am, sir, can I take your order? Care for some coffee? Listener cocked her head and grinned to herself, shaking her head slightly. He pouted, eyes glimmering with hope. Please say yes, because I already bought yours and I can't drink two without it tasting bitter. Not even with 2 extra sugar? Not without you. He's blushing and looking down at his shoes, but when he sneaked a glance at listener, she's doing the same, hands stuffed in her pocket. Her order's done and the two of them bashfully grabs their cups, tingles going up his arms when the arm brush. The heat's not completely from the steaming coffee in their hands, but it sure does make them feel like the whole time, the day they used to spend with each other's company. Aizawa cradled his cup for a moment, unsure of what to say to the person that looked so much like the one he once loved so much. But, almost simultaneously, both of them say the same thing, their words mingling together, despite the quiet tone they're speaking in. I miss you. They're looking at each other in surprise before it melted away into a more comfortable smile, and listener noticed Aizawa's shoulder loosening. As he sat back, taking a sip of his coffee. A lot of things have changed, haven't they? She said, staring out into the distance as she looked at the window, while Aizawa's eyes were still drained on her. He smiled fondly at her. Not everything.